Everybody, welcome to Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and this is part 3 of how bikes are going to save the world. So I already talked about the physical health benefits, the mental and social community health benefits. Excuse me. Today, I want to talk about the economic advantages and benefits of riding a bicycle. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Comments down below if you've got some questions, things I'm missing, don't understand. Maybe there's, I'm wrong about something. I'm not wrong. Let's get into this. All right, so cars versus bikes, cost. The big one is just how much a bicycle costs compared to a car. Realistically, the most expensive bike that I think your average person who's like a non-professional cyclist should spend $3,000. I mean, and that's far nicer than any bike that anybody really needs for you don't need to spend that much. But that's like luxury e-bike with all the bells and whistles, $3,000. You can get a really good bike for $600. You can get an okay bike for $300. Less than that, you're starting to kind of take your chances. You cannot get a car for anywhere close to that. A $3,000 car is a junker. So that's a clunky car that you're going to be working on that isn't going to last you very long, more than likely. I mean, it depends. You might get lucky or something, but you're taking a big risk. You're not getting a good car, certainly not a new one for that type of price. So that alone. Ongoing costs on a car. You have to insure it. You have to register it. You have to have a license. All those things are just giving money to the government. All those things, if you have various, run-ins with the law for various reasons, your license may be suspended. You might not even be able to get one. If, depending on your financial situation, maybe you were able to save up enough money to get a car, but you don't have enough money for the insurance. I live in Detroit, in Michigan. They recently changed the law. I don't think it's gone in effect yet, where insurance was supposed to go drop down, but astronomically, insanely, prohibitively expensive insurance here. It's criminally expensive, the insurance here. My insurance is regularly higher than my car note. It makes no sense. That's how it's always been as long as I've been driving. My car note is, I think it's $230 a month. My insurance is $280. It's ridiculous. Expensive. Additionally, you have to put gas in a car. Gas prices, last I checked, were pushing $4 a gallon. Last time I fueled up my car, it was over $40. I think it was like $45 to fill it up. That lasts maybe a week or two, depending on how much I'm driving. Oil changes every 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you're driving, what type of car you're in. My oil changes typically cost around, I buy synthetic oil. I like to get the nice stuff, Mobil 1, and I think it's around $80 every time I get an oil change, around there. Something breaks on your car, so much of it is electrical. Back in the day, a lot of people could fix their cars themselves. They could work on their cars themselves, wasn't that big of a deal. Nowadays, not so much, especially with them going hybrid and getting electric cars. Less and less can your average Joe realistically work on their car. I can do an oil change. I can still do, I've done brakes. I've, swapped out a battery and alternator and things like that. So some of the things I still can do. They're still expensive. I almost always have to buy some extra tools and things with them. And it's costly. It just is. Got to replace air filters. Got to get a battery every couple of years. Spark plugs. There's a lot of maintenance to having a vehicle. And then, like I said, the rolling cost of insurance and registration and all that. It's a lot. Buy a bike. Even you buy a $3,000 bike, you're pretty much done after that. There's no registration. There's no license. There's no, at least not here. I think I do believe in some cities they require some sort of registration on the bikes. Like if you're using them to commute, that's not required here, so I don't know much about it. I don't know how much it costs. But here where I live, that's not a thing. Maintenance on a bike, you typically should maybe take it to the bike shop and give it a tune-up. I would say, like, depending on how much you're riding, once a year. I would usually do it like every spring, like right when the bike season starts. However, I've never taken it to the bike shop because I know how to work on bikes myself and I just do it myself. And that's the beauty of riding bikes. I can do just about everything on a bike myself because they are simple. They haven't changed much since they've been invented back in the early 1900s or whatever it was. They're almost unchanged. With minimal tools and minimal training, tools that you may very well even have, you can perform almost all of the maintenance and repairs necessary. Once you get into electrical bikes and you get to like maybe hydraulic brakes and hydraulic shocks and all that, it can get more advanced and you might need more specialized tools. But just for your general kind of basic bike, basic road bike, basic cruiser bike, nothing fancy, the $1,200, $600 bikes, Allen wrenches, maybe a ratchet, maybe a screwdriver, and a few drops of oil is all you need. That's it. The replaceable things on a bike that you're basically gonna have to do, actually this one, brake pads, depending on how often you are riding and what conditions or not, you may have to change the brake pads. You may have to change the tires, inner tubes if you get a flat tire, oil your chain. That's about it, realistically. You may have to change the cables eventually. I have not gotten to a point where I've actually needed to change cables. Sometimes I do it just for fun, but I haven't gotten to a point where I'm like, my brakes needed the cables changed. Tires, it all depends on how much you're riding, but look how accessible this stuff is. If you are trying to work on a car, somebody told me, she said her car battery went out and needed to be changed, and it was like under the engine or something crazy, but it cost like $500 for a mechanic to swap out the battery because they put it in such an inaccessible location. I think they had to like take the fender off or something crazy. That sort of stuff happens. Talking about changing the brake pads here, they're right here. I can see them. I can touch them. I don't need any tools. I don't need a flashlight. I can just put my hands on it. I only need to put an Allen wrench right there, loosen it, take the brake pad off, put a new one on. One tool is all you need. It's completely accessible. If I need to remove this tire, you don't even need a tool. There's a, what do you call this thing? I'm bad with terminology. That thing. You just loosen it. You just flip that up right there. I don't want to do it because I don't want the bike to come off. But just flip that up. Don't even need a tool for it. Take the tire off. I can, with my bare hands, although it's harder, but you can remove the tire and change the inner tube with your bare hands. Like I said, it is harder. Get some tire levers. They cost $5. For nice ones. The Pedros that I like, I think $5. And removing the tires easy. Oil on a chain. It's literally just putting oil on the chain. Actually, I'm out of oil, it looks like. Or I probably moved it someplace else. But oil just comes in a bottle. Crank your pedals. Put the oil, put a few drops on. Let it soak in. Wipe off the excess after a while. If you can let it sit overnight, even better. But if you just put it on, spin it a few times, let it sit, and then go on your ride, whatever. Better off than not doing anything. All this stuff, I mean, we're talking a bottle of oil is $10. Tire levers, $5. Allen wrenches, you may already have them, but, depends on how nice you want to get. This is low skill, low investment maintenance that you only have to do once in a while, especially if you get a quality bike. This bike was $650. This is Nate's bike. And this thing is great. He rode it a lot last summer. We put in not thousands of miles, but a lot of miles. Got it from a bike shop. I've had zero issues. I have not needed to put a single finger on this bike. This one, I actually got it for free. Used, like a donation type of thing. I was working at a bike giveaway type of deal, and they gave me one of the bikes. Let me pick one that I wanted. I was like, I'll take that one. And so I invested a lot of money in it to fix it up because it was old and some components did need to be replaced, but it wasn't in bad condition. I just kind of did it because I wanted to and I wanted to make it pretty and pink. This was my nicest bike, and it was significantly less than $2,000. I want to say maybe it was 15. I don't remember exactly. Plus size tires. It's got the hydraulic brakes, and I think the suspension is hydraulic as well. Okay. Actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But it's a nicer bike, more for like mountain biking and stuff like that. You get a quality bike. I don't have to do anything with them. Minimal maintenance. I put oil on the chains and pump up the. Oh yeah, I guess you need an air pump. Air pump. You can get one for $20. So minimal tools. You can maintain your own bike. A car, that's not. It's a much bigger investment. Much more knowledge. Much more skill. A bit more higher risk. If you jack up your car and you don't use the like the blocks and don't do it right and try to start working under there, you can kill yourself. I cannot think of a way that you would die working on a bike. Maybe falling off of it, perhaps, but not working on it. That's just not going to happen. You'd be very talented if you managed to do that some kind of way. So yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing is, let's see. When you're riding a bike, parking is free. You also can park closer to your destination. And for short distances, it's often quicker. And time is money. So like I think it's like under 5 miles or less, or maybe under 3 miles, somewhere around there. I think it was under 3 miles, or 5 kilometers. You often can get to your location quicker by bicycle. If you consider like trying to find a place for parking and sitting at red lights and all that, a lot of times bikes, you can just cruise through all that stuff, avoid traffic. You get there quicker. Longer distances, your car may be faster. But on those short distances, hop on a bike, you'll be there quicker. So, economically, bikes make a lot of sense. Make a whole lot of sense. Far more accessible to lower income people, or if you just don't want to spend a bunch of money, you can save a lot by riding a bike. Like and subscribe. I hope these videos are helpful to you and informative and convincing you to ride a bike instead of driving. Not always, but on shorter distances, nice weather, biking. It's the way to go.